Hi, you're welcome to my channel. This is Apostle Gabriela, and this is a second part of how to marry your match compatibility teachings. And the first teaching we dealt with personality traits, and today we will be talking about communication styles. So stay tuned and get blessed. So moving forward, how do you communicate as an individual? What's your communication style? What's your communication structure? From what I know, there are a lot of communication styles that people do have. When you meet someone for the first time, there must and there is always a way they try to express themselves. So now that's what we mean by communication style. How they express themselves. Sometimes they are verbal, sometimes they are non-verbal expressions. But hello, everyone have this particular way of communication. There are a lot of them, so I'm just going to cite few of them. Have you met someone who is very, very assertive? Like you meet them for the first time, you're thinking you're trying to talk to them, they're already talking to you. They can be very assertive. Assuming what you're wearing is so fine, you're going to hear them say, wow, you look so beautiful, you look so handsome. And these people are not going to find talking about their emotions or feelings difficult. They're going to be very, very all out expressive. So assertiveness is one way of communication. And for me, that's one of my favorite way of communicating, my favorite style of communication, because with people who hold assertiveness as their communication style, you don't struggle to understand where they're going to, what they think, how they feel. You're not going to struggle with that. You're not going to wait on them to begin to say, no, no, no. Before you ask them, they're telling you already. And that makes relationships very, very, very smooth and fulfilling. Another one I can cite is the passive kind of communication. I always find passive communicators very, 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 very annoying. Having been a leader for a long time in the work sector, the education sector, the ministry sector, I can tell you that passive communicators can be very, very annoying. Now, let me give you an example before I begin to express that. A passive communicator is someone, assuming we are in the working sector, and this person is overloaded with a workload that isn't theirs, but they are expected to deliver those workloads. So instead of them to voice out, oh, this workload is so much for me, I can't do this. So what they do, they grumble, they are unhappy, they are unexpressive, they do no longer find joy in what they're doing. But anyway, they go ahead to do the job and they express their anger bottled up and in the job. So this kind of people, you can find them grow bitterness over time. You can find them grow displeased and unknown to their employers that they have been displeased all this while, because they find it very difficult to express their feelings. Why? Because sometimes they feel like, oh, if I say this now, these people will think I don't want the job. If I say this now, it will look like I don't, they tell themselves stops, and they don't know that you voicing out how you feel over a workload that isn't yours is the best way to express yourself as a person. So that's passive communicators. We also have passive aggressors. Passive aggressors are those people. Those people are the most annoying. Now let me tell you something. A passive aggressor, assuming you have a relationship or you just began a relationship, and this lady or this guy has something you do that she or he does not like, instead of them to come to you to talk about it, they'll prefer calling your friend to report you over what you do. Or if it is in a work sector, in a working place, they prefer telling their fellow colleagues about what they should tell you, the manager, to walk over. They prefer to tell people who can't help them. Those are called passive aggressors. And sometimes we find them in the family. I offend you, you don't come to tell me, you go tell someone else. Will the someone else correct the error? So you see, in relationships and even in family sectors, this is one of the mighty things that happens in the family sectors that bring a great deal of misunderstanding. If I offend you and I've done something that you don't like, you call me, call my attention, and let's trash it. But when you discuss it with someone else and talk about it with someone else who wouldn't help you, who wouldn't help us, then that's passive aggressiveness when it comes to communication. The one of them I like, and I think I may be stopping with this one. You could go ahead and check all of them and just Google it and find out the way you express yourself. We have people-oriented communicators. we have logical communicators, we have empathetic communicators. I love that. That's another favorite communication style of mine. What do they do? From the word empathy, these people put themselves in another person's shoe and then try to relate with you, understand with you, validate your feelings, and also try to find a way to work out how you feel. And that's beautiful, that's sweet. Those people, they are not told, they just simply say to themselves, if I were him or her, would I want this person to talk to me this way? So I give you what I would want to receive, and that's very, very, very the most fulfilling way of communicating. So I love two of these communication styles, the assertiveness and the empathetic communicator. So how do you communicate in the comment section? Can I have you write it down in the comment section? Let's know how you communicate. And with the way you communicate, has it helped your relationship? Or is it bringing you people back and forth over time? Because the idea of talking about this is the reason why two people will be compatible is if your communication styles are appealing to yourselves. Do you like someone who is harsh? Do you like someone who is controlling? Aggressive communicators are like that. They are controlling, they're intimidating, they can interrupt you even while you're yet trying to explain your feelings or your truths. So I've had one or two relationships in my single days 20 years ago. You want to say something, the guy is hushing you. He feels what you have to say does not make sense. And those people are aggressive communicators. They're not going to give you a time to express yourself, to be you. They're not going to give you the time to talk about how you feel. They believe they know how you feel before they land. So some persons are like that. And the thing about aggressive communicators, sometimes it can be communicable. Like someone can become that if you stay with that person for too long, because when someone keeps interrupting you, you also want to interrupt to find or to be heard. So before you realize yourself, you're already behaving that way. So it is better that you take yourself away from situations that you know do not appeal to your personality. Every personal trait have communication styles that are appealing to them. So if you are a choleric by trait, you are going to see yourself mostly aggressively expressing or communicating. In those days, I used to be an aggressive communicator because of the kind of temperament trait I have. But over time, I began to work on the weaknesses of my traits. I began to align myself to the right communication skill. No choleric person expresses themselves calmly or sweetly. Some of the times they are very, very loud. Some of the times they're very aggressive, forward, and a lot of things. So I had to begin to learn to be empathic. Do you want to be shouted on? I will answer that no. Do you want to be rebuked? You say no. Do you want to be judged before you are heard? You say no. So that empathetic thought has now taught me how to be empathic with the way I communicate with people. So sometimes I put myself in everyone's shoe, relate with you the way I would want you to relate with me. And that has helped me over the years. So can I just know your communication style back down by the comment section, and let us know what it is that we can do together to help ourselves when it comes to communication. God bless you. I'm going to bring you to part 3 of this compatibility, how to marry your match. I love you guys.